The true soldier fights not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. Gilbert Keith Chesterton, May 29, 1874 – June 14, 1936, was an English writer, philosopher, Christian apologist, a literary and art critic. Fairy tales do not tell children that dragons exist. Children already know that dragons exist. Fairy tales tell children that dragons can be killed. To love means loving the unlovable. To forgive means pardoning the unpardonable. Faith means believing the unbelievable. Hope means hoping when everything seems hopeless. Feminism is mixed up with a muddled idea that women are free when they serve their employers but slaves when they help their husbands. The word good has many meanings. For example, if a man were to shoot his grandmother at a range of 500 yards, I should call him a good shot, but not necessarily a good man. Religious liberty might be supposed to mean that everybody is free to discuss religion. In practice, it means that hardly anybody is allowed to mention it. It is absurd for the evolutionist to complain that it is unthinkable for an admittedly unthinkable God to make everything out of nothing, and then pretend that it is more thinkable that nothing should turn itself into everything. People wonder why the novel is the most popular form of literature. People wonder why it is read more than books of science or books of metaphysics. The reason is very simple. It is merely that the novel is more true than they are. Love is not blind. That is the last thing that it is. Love is bound, and the more it is bound, the less it is blind. We men and women are all in the same boat, upon a stormy sea. We owe to each other a terrible and tragic loyalty. Tradition means giving votes to the most obscure of all classes, our ancestors. It is the democracy of the dead. Tradition refuses to submit to the small and arrogant oligarchy of those who merely happen to be walking about. The poet only asks to get his head into the heavens. It is the logician who seeks to get the heavens into his head, and it is his head that splits. We fear men so much because we fear God so little. One fear cures another. When man's terror scares you, turn your thoughts to the wrath of God. I wish we could sometimes love the characters in real life as we love the characters in romances. There are a great many human souls whom we should accept more kindly, and even appreciate more clearly if we simply thought of them as people in a story. When men choose not to believe in God, they do not thereafter believe in nothing. They then become capable of believing in anything. If you happen to read fairy tales, you will observe that one idea runs from one end of them to the other, the idea that peace and happiness can only exist on some condition. This idea, which is the core of ethics, is the core of the nursery tales. My country, right or wrong, is a thing that no patriot would think of saying except in a desperate case. It is like saying, my mother, drunk or sober. We should always endeavor to wonder at the permanent thing, not at the mere exception. We should be startled by the sun and not by the eclipse. We should wonder less at the earthquake and wonder more at the earth. Christmas is built upon a beautiful and intentional paradox, that the birth of the homeless should be celebrated in every home. The riddles of God are more satisfying than the solutions of man.